When I saw God in my life, my mom was working in her clinic and helping other people.
Our clinic is called Well One Health. We started this clinic 6 years ago, actually. I did not have a medical background before starting the clinic. I was a nursing student. I was pregnant with Azure and a nursing student who knew very well that I could not get a job because when I walked in there, very pregnant, they would think, maybe after you've delivered. And so I knew that I had to do something, make use of my time as I waited to even sit my NCLEX exam. And I remember when the thought came to me, why don't you just open a clinic? I thought, this is so crazy. I remember stopping and thinking, what? No. I mean, I know nothing about opening a clinic. I know nothing about what goes into running a clinic. And so I put that out of my head. But the thought reoccurred over and over again. And I shared it with Julius and I really think that this is something that I should go after.
I immediately jumped on board because I know that I wanted to also be involved in the community in terms of helping out. And this was a great opportunity for me to do so.
So much has been poured into us when we were younger by others. We wanted to be able to give back what was given to us.
My mom was a midwife and she helped lots of women in our community who needed women's care. And not only that, she was highly involved with our community services department. And that was a great impact upon my life because there's always need once you look around.
There are many times when I said to myself, this is not worth it. It takes a lot of time to run a clinic, both the administrative duties, the clinical duties. And the way I've seen God work in our lives through this clinic is that over time, as the years went by, not only did I gain clinical and administrative skills, but I saw God provide a cohort of volunteers. We also got contracts with various universities. And as a professor at National University in San Diego, my students were able to come and join me and work in the clinic. Not only did we get volunteers and students, but we also had people in the community support us by providing food for patients, providing clothing and other necessaries that the patients needed. The number of patients that we saw increased as well. I remember the maximum number of patients we saw the first year was 8. And since then, each year we've seen between 300 and 700.
After medical school, I was grateful to be able to help out in the clinic through a community medicine rotation as I taught or helped to teach a diabetes class.
We had a patient who was a diabetic. A typical A1C, we wanted to be a 5.7 or lower. And his, like many of our patients, was way past 13. He had never heard of preventive medicine the way we practice it in our church, the idea that having a diet that is whole food based. And so we introduced him to that. And I remember when his A1C came to the level where he was so controlled we had to change his medications. And after that, when our clinic closed because of COVID, I remember he was the one who kept calling and asking, when are we going to reopen?
This clinic has not only helped us to be an impact in the community, but I think it strengthened our relationship with each other. In life, I think it gives us more purpose. And in doing so, we connect more as a husband and wife. And our son also seeing us giving back to the community certainly gives him an example of what we would like him to become in the future as well.
A part of our faith is believing that when God said, "Go ye," therefore, he meant literally to get up and go, to find people in their greatest need and to meet them there. And for that reason, what we do, it's not just community service, it is the practice of the gospel, reaching people and finding them in their most vulnerable times is the right hand of the gospel.
When you look around, there's always a need in your community. In just the Colton area, you'll find people always there asking for food. Our son told us, hey, we can have something in our car and just give it to them. It provides an opening towards helping that person to get to know Christ.
I've seen lives changed. There are people who walked through those doors looking for food and started attending church because of what happens in that clinic.
This was a faith walk. There are many times we didn't know whether we'll have clinic the next week. It has taught me to trust God. We would many times pray together for the clinic, pray for the patients.
I realized that the difficult moments when I struggled with whether or not we should have the clinic open, that realization that God was the one in control and not me was very important. All those times when I thought to myself, should I keep this clinic open? I was asking the wrong question and I was asking the wrong person. It is God's clinic. The idea was not mine. That was God planting a seed. Now I walk in faith, knowing that He kept us open for 6 years. It's a free clinic, so everyone is a volunteer. And to date, we have over 40 employees. Though temporary, we have been able to provide employment, which was one of our major goals. You really don't know what you're getting into when you decide, I'm going to run a clinic where we make no money whatsoever. But here we are 6 years later, doing just that.
We are the Daniels family, and this is our story.
I'm Pastor Tara Van Cross, and we're so glad that you've tuned into our Azure Hills Church YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, and click on the bell so that you'll be notified every time we share new videos. We are so glad that you're here. Until next time, please know that we're praying for you as you continue to be a voice of hope.